Welcome back to On the Record, and today we're going to take a listen to a vintage copy of Puss in Boots, and this is from the Children's Record Guild. And appropriately, as I'm doing this, you'll probably hear the sounds of my cats around here because they're driving me nuts today. But a little background. The original story was called Master Cat, or The Booted Cat, and it was published by French writer Charles Perrault in 1697, today known as Puss in Boots. The tale has thrived in contemporary culture alongside several of Perrault's other famous creations, and this surprised me, which included Cinderella and Little Red Riding Hood. I had no idea. So, it's an old story. This copy of the Children's Record Guild recording of Puss in Boots is undated, but most likely in late 1940s, early 1950s. As usual, the artwork is pretty cool on these older children's records. I love the black cat with the white face. Reminds me of a little cat Comet that I have here that I've shown once in a while on video here. It says Douglas Moore's Puss in Boots, so I assume that it was rewritten. And it's a musical play in 4 acts. This version has music by Douglas Moore, so that must be why it says Douglas Moore's. Libretto by Raymond Abrishkin and conducted by Eugene Lowell, and starring Arthur Malthin. Puss in Boots, a young people's record production, is another musical play like The Emperor's New Clothes, Robin Hood, created specifically for young children, scored by one of America's leading composers, Douglas Moore, Pulitzer Prize winner in 1951 and member of the American Academy of Arts and Letters, and written by an important children's author, Richard Abrishkin. Acted and sung by a cast of outstanding artists, Puss in Boots is an important contribution to America's music literature. It is wholesome, fun, rich in humor, and a genuine experience in music appreciation for children. The work received its first public performance by the New York Philharmonic Orchestra, Igor Bakhatov conducting. Now, the graphics on the back are really rather abstract, but on the inside we have the lyrics and a lot of these other abstract's not exactly the word I'm looking for, but they're, all I can think of is abstract type artwork showing the cat and different people in the story. So, as I said, you'll probably hear my cats. I do not use a direct line in when I record a story off from these records. So I try to keep background noise to the minimum, and it usually works, but my cat Charlie has been pretty vocal lately, so if you hear him in the background, I apologize. And I apologize for my sort of sedate nature lately on the videos that I do. I'm still not feeling good. My surgery still has not been scheduled. I'm still taking a lot of pain medication, and so I hope that doesn't show through and bother any of you. So, my dear friends, let's take a listen to Puss in Boots in 4 acts on two records that are, I believe, it doesn't say on them, but I believe they're 33 RPM. But we'll find out in just a moment, and I'll be back with you briefly after we take a listen. Okay? Here we go.
Once a lad named John was left alone in the world with only a cat for company. True, it was a very interesting cat that always walked around wearing leather boots. But John was unhappy.
What good is a cat? Especially in those awful boots. You don't like my boots? No, Hey, you talked. A talking cat.
Sure.
But why didn't... whoever...
Sit down, John, and I'll tell you all about it. When I was just a teeny weeny kitty, everyone told me that I looked so pretty. They said beautiful eyes, they said lovely fur, but all I could answer was meow or purr. My coat was black, my eyes of course were yellow. People always said, what a charming fellow. I wanted to thank them, but I didn't know how. For all I could answer was purr or meow. Then one fine day, as I was lying sleeping, a great idea into my head came creeping. A pussycat that could learn to say meow could say just me by leaving off the ow. So I said me, 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 me. Then as you plainly can see, from me to he to she to we was just as simple as it could be. I practiced daily for a week, and that is how I learned to speak. Then I thought that I would try, slipping off from me to my. From me to my, to sky, to why was just as easy as eating pie. I practiced daily for a week, and that is how I learned to speak. Soon I was no longer a beginner. When someone asked, how would you like some dinner? If I wanted to answer, I could say yes, sir, instead of replying just meow or
The way you say it, Puss, it sounds easy.
nothing to it. Now, John, I want you to stop worrying. I'm going to make you a prince.
Very funny. How could I be a prince? You have to be born a prince. Your father must be a king. Why, I'm just an ordinary fellow. They'd see in a minute that I was a fake.
Nonsense. Dress like a prince, act like a prince, and you are a prince. Why, it's as easy as a cat's talking. Just leave everything to me.
Very well. What can I lose?
That afternoon, Puss put a sack over his shoulder and set out to see the king. On the way, he found three things: a broken wheel with its spokes all sticking out, a baby's diaper, and an old alarm clock without hands. Puss put them in his sack, and just as he reached the king's palace...
Hear ye, hear ye! The man who gives the king the finest gift can marry his beautiful daughter, the princess. Hear ye, hear ye!
If John marries the princess, he will be a prince.
So Puss entered the king's court just as the richest prince in the land was offering his gift.
I am the Prince of Snickersnee with a gift as great as a gift can be, a golden crown for your majesty. A very cute little crown. Thank you very much.
Puss took the broken wheel from his sack.
Your Majesty, a gift from my master, the Prince of Chiselwit. That's John.
Why, what is it?
The Prince of Snickersnee has given your Majesty a crown. The Prince of Chiselwit gives you a crown rack.
It's exactly what I've always wanted, a very extra special thing, but it's useful and quite pleasant, and it's just the sort of present that is fit for a king.
But Snickersnee was not beaten yet.
I'm the richest prince in this country, and here is a present to you from me, a silver sword for your majesty. Sharp, isn't it?
Puss took the diaper from his sack.
Your Majesty, the Prince of Snickersnee has given you a sword. The Prince of Chiselwit gives you a sword wiper.
It's exactly what I've always wanted, a very extra special thing, but it's useful and quite pleasant, and
and it's just the sort of present that is fit for a king.
But Snickersnee was not beaten yet.
I'll fix that cat right now, you'll see, for this present is the best of the three. A pillow of silk for your majesty.
I'll sleep and sleep. Puss took out the broken alarm clock.
Your Majesty, the Prince of Snickersnee has given you a pillow of silk. The Prince of Chiselwit gives you this gorgeous alarm clock.
But everyone knows a king can sleep as late as he pleases. What use have I for this alarm clock?
That's just it, Your Majesty. This alarm clock doesn't work.
Oh! It's exactly what I've always wanted. A very extra special thing, but it's useful and quite pleasant. And it's just the sort of present that is fit for a king.
Hear ye, hear ye! The king now has all his gifts, and the man who will marry the princess
Will be announced right after lunch.
As soon as lunch was over, everyone gathered in the court to hear who would marry the princess.
Hear ye, hear ye! The man who has given the king the finest gift, the man who will marry the beautiful princess is the Prince of Chiselwit.
The king has picked a prince who's fit. Hooray, hooray, this happy day. For Chiselwit, is it?
Your Majesty, when will they be married?
Why wait? Tomorrow.
Then we must have the wedding right after breakfast at the little lake on the palace grounds.
A very good idea. It will be a beautiful wedding, and everyone is invited.
Puss hurried home and told John the wonderful news.
I'm really going to be a prince? I can hardly believe it. It's true.
Puss, I take back all the nasty things I said about your boots. On you, those boots look elegant.
Oh, a camel in a cowboy suit looks awful, and suspenders on a snake are just as bad. And a bear who wears a beret, though he tries to look quite merry, makes himself look only very, very sad. Now galoshes seem so silly on a goldfish, and snails are such a sorry sight in spats, and llamas in pajamas look dumb even to their mamas, but boots look nice on pussy cats. Boots look very nice on pussy cats. Oh, a beaver shouldn't bother with a bathrobe, and a raincoat on a reindeer isn't right. And a seal in bedroom slippers, though he fits them on his flippers, and he zips them up with zippers, looks a fright. Now a spider in a sweater is no better. Hippopotami look horrible in hats, and a sparrow in a snowsuit looks much worse than one in no suit. But boots look nice on pussy cats. Boots look very nice on pussy cats.
Thanks, John. Now let's get ready for the wedding.
But I can't marry the princess in these old clothes. Why, they'd laugh at me.
Now, John. Let me take care of that.
The next morning, very early, Puss took John to the little lake on the palace grounds, and, while everyone was at breakfast,
All right, John. Take off your clothes and get into the water.
But
Quick, do as I say.
Puss took John's old ragged clothes and buried them. And just as he finished, the king, the princess, and all the people of the court came toward the lake for the wedding.
Help! Help! Someone has stolen my master's, the Prince of Chiselwit's clothes.
Oh dear, that's terrible. And right on the palace grounds. I'll send for new clothes right away.
So one of the king's men ran to the palace and brought a suit of finest silk, embroidered in gold and silver. John put it on, And there he stood, looking exactly like a prince.
Your Majesty, I have the honor to present my master, the Prince of Chiselwit.
Oh, Daddy, he's very handsome.
And you, my princess, are very beautiful.
Oh, Daddy, I think I'm falling in love.
Me too.
Are you both sure?
I think I'm sure.
Me too.
What does it feel like, this falling in love?
What does it feel like to you?
Sunshine on flowers,
Presents on birthdays,
strawberry shortcake,
sliding down banisters,
ribbons and laces,
prizes in Cracker Jacks,
ice cream and candy.
home runs in baseball.
That's what it feels like, this falling in love. And I've fallen in love with you.
Let the wedding begin.
Our John's a handsome prince, let the wedding march play on. And since he is a prince, we'll sing hooray for John. Hooray for Prince John, hooray, hooray, it's his wedding day. Hooray for John, hooray for John.
Stop!
Why? What's wrong?
Puss, my best friend, isn't here.
Where is he?
Here he comes.
John, my dearest friend, I couldn't come to your wedding without a present. And I have here in my sack a wonderful gift for you. The present I like best in all the world.
Slowly, Puss opened the sack, and out jumped a mouse.
Oh dear, oh good gracious, carry on!
And since he is a prince, we'll sing hooray for John, hooray for John, hooray, hooray, Prince John.
Okay, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed that. I thought it was pretty cool myself. This record was given to me, as you probably have guessed if you listen to many of my programs, by Bill and Judy Wigner of Records and Tapes Galore here in Saginaw, Michigan. They are two of the most generous people I've ever met in my life, who supply me with wonderful records of all genre, and they're just super people. If you're in Saginaw, or if you're planning a trip to Saginaw, plan a trip over there and stop and say hi to them, because you'll never meet two nicer people. I can guarantee that. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you all real soon with another On the Record. God bless you. Love you all. Thank you for your concern.